Pain and Bounty Hunter going to be picked up by GoBlack's new team. Power Rangers going to go for the Gyrocopter and Spirit Breaker. Gyrocopter? I mean,
Dire team banned.
It's so surprising. I really felt like Power Rangers were in such a great position in that game one. At around that 40-minute marker, what was it? They took the melee racks top, they took the melee racks middle. They went back, grabbed Roshan, and then they had that Roshan fight that actually didn't go all that well for them. And then the Phantom Lancers just got too big. As it always is, Phantom Lancer is a ticking time bomb. No matter how far ahead you feel, gotta worry about going into late game against him. Anyway, our next set of bans coming out. SF gonna be banned away by new team, a Darkseer. Taken away by Power Rangers. Almost a little bit surprising because Power Rangers, some of the CIS scene is known to do this. I'm not sure about Power Rangers specifically. I can't think of... I think it might have been like Screen Squad or one of those teams. One of the like Tier 2, Tier 3 CIS teams that ran Darkseer Spirit Breaker. And it's funny because Darkseer also has a lot of synergy with Gyrocopter as well. But they actually choose to ban it away, keeping it out of hands of GoBlack. Or GoBlack as the drafter anyway. Winter Wyvern also going to be taken out. Nice controlling hero, particularly strong against the Spirit Breaker, despite the fact that his bashes are actually magical. Greater Bash is magic damage, so too is the Nether Strike that goes out. Being able to have that kind of single target...
10 seconds remaining.
That kind of single target save is...
5 seconds remaining.
In Cold Embrace is a lifesaver.
Reserve time.
Man, things are just not going well for us. All right. Sorry, guys. We had an issue where we actually ran out of disk space for some reason on our computer, so my local recording just stopped. So, anyway, for those of you guys who are watching the YouTube VOD, welcome. You didn't really miss much. Phoenix is going to be banned away.
Dire team pick.
Works really well with the team fight that you already kind of have. Spirit Breaker is one of those heroes that forces you into a team fight. His charge will at least force someone with a disable to turn around, and if he manages to get off the Nether Strike, bumping you back even further. It basically ensures the team fight's going to happen. Either that or you have to give up a pick-off. And especially with Spirit Breaker targeting probably some of the more higher priority heroes
10 seconds remaining.
in the game, you don't really necessarily just want to give up a free hero like that.
5
so
seconds remaining.
this is going to kind of ensure the team fights happen, in which case new team need to try and take away some of the better team fight heroes that are left in the pool, such as the Phoenix would have been a nice pickup. And actually works rather well in pseudo-dual lane situations. Spirit Breaker is one of those heroes that can run in the off lane for the first few minutes, as all he really needs is just level 2 or 3, and then he can rotate out. But that's also enough to ensure that the Phoenix gets this level 2 as well. Especially level 2, level 3, very key levels for Phoenix. At level 1, you're pretty powerless with only Icarus Dive being picked up. And even level 2, your Fire Spirits do so little damage over time. It's 10 damage a second. It's just nothing. So even if you are trying to battle it out with the support, you're not going to be able to put nearly as much pressure on them until you get level 2 Fire Spirits, which is a 200% increase in damage. It's pretty insane. Dazzle is going to be the support choice here for GoBlack, probably his hero to be picked up, as we're presuming that the Bounty Hunter is going to be operating on 4 position. I was just about to say, if you look at new team with a 4 position Bounty Hunter and a 5 position Dazzle and a Queen of Pain who, you know, puts out a lot of nukes but actually offers no inherent disables herself. I mean, the slow Shatter Strike, but no hard stuns. Any hero that has large amounts of mobility is going to be really good here, and Storm Spirit is very quickly picked up by Power Rangers, seeing the very big opening in GoBlack's draft. That being said, there is still a problem that the Queen of Pain could pick up a very fast Orchid, and we also still have yet to see both our offlaner as well as either our safe lane or mid laner. I say potentially mid laner because Queen of Pain can also run as a safe lane farmer in order to pick up that Orchid a little bit more reliably and try and shut down the Storm Spirit before he gets that BKB.
Shaker.
Earthshaker's now the
Radiant
choice
team
for new
pick.
team. That should be their offlane hero, and exactly the kind of double down disables that you really need to pick up when you're completely lacking any hard stuns from your 4 and 5 position. Earthshaker is, I feel, one of the most direct counters to Storm Spirit in the offlane position, and really makes up for a very large gap in new teams. New team's lineup. Blitz is back. Hello.
Hello.
10 seconds
How are you
remaining.
feeling?
I feel like death right now. But, you know, I got to do it for the
5
10
seconds
fans that want to hear
remaining.
me cast. My tens of fans.
Wow. You really do feel bad, even going for the
Reserve time.
pity, sympathy here. You're like, I feel
like
bad
death
and
right
I
now.
only have 10 fans.
I mean, that's life, man. What can you do? There'll be somebody that enjoys me casting. As long as the ratio is like 2 to 1, I'll be okay. No, but I agree. I think Earthshaker and Dazzle are both really annoying to play against a Storm. It's something I really learned. Is that a really good Dazzle player, you pick up a Glimmer Cape and the Storm tries to go on you or whoever, and the Storm really relies on the initial roll. Like, I can't stress that enough. A lot of people don't understand it, but the initial roll from the Storm Spirit is going to be where the majority of his damage comes from.
Dire
And it's
team
for,
ban.
if he decides to go for the Orchid at some point, or the Hex, that's going to be the first use of it, right? So if the Dazzle is able to get the Grave off, or the Glimmer Cape off on himself, and then a Grave on somebody else, the Storm just gets absolutely shut down. And then you've got the Earthshaker that'll always follow. So you've got a 2-lock
10 seconds
measure
remaining.
where you've got 2 different heroes that can always save or interrupt the Storm during his
5
first roll. And that
seconds
makes
remaining.
such a big difference.
What do you think about this Bane pickup for PR? If anything, that feels like
Reserve
more of a
time.
Go Black hero, Mad. I mean, there are certain captains, certain drafters that are really known for going for the Bane. The disables are nice. And I guess there is, this is probably why they picked up the Storm Spirit, right? A very large lack of hard stuns from the side of new team. The Bane also takes advantage of that as well, right? Like, the Earthshaker Fisher is really good for being able to stop the Bane Fiend script, but if he uses it on something else, he's probably going to putting a lot of his priority into shutting down the Storm Spirit. Bane is a little bit
Radiant
more
team
free
ban.
to get off that full 5-second Fiend script.
Yeah, and probably one of the things, too, is it pairs really well with the
Dire
Gyrocopter.
team pick.
And it's just a tanky support. Like, if you notice, whenever Bounty Hunter's picked, a team actually, to counter it, they don't draft really squishy supports that can just get one shot and don't do anything in the fights. You just pick heroes that have a lot of stats, a decent amount of armor, just enough of things that it's difficult for them to be able to get the counter off. And so you just want to be able to constantly run at people, like, non-stop. Like, I think
10
that's the
seconds remaining.
main gist of why you pick heroes like Bane here, too. Just because it's tanky
5
heroes and
seconds remaining.
possibly one of the other things as well is that it does well against the Queen of Pain. Like,
Reserve
being able to
time.
shut her down after she uses the blinker before that point too
10
is really
seconds
effective.
remaining.
Right. This also puts a little
5
bit of question
seconds
mark on
remaining.
who do you go for your carry, because you got to worry about that
Radiant
potential
team
enfeeble
pick.
or even just the disables. They do still go for the Ursa, who is, after the patch update, within range, is able to shrug off disables a bit easier, but there is a lot of potential for you just to be kited around. I'm a little bit concerned, but he can very quickly burst down heroes if there's disables in the pool, such as the Storm Spirit, Gyrocopter, oh, Silencer actually now for new team.
Okay, that hero. I was thinking about it on the way to the office because it sounds like this is gonna sound terrible, but I think about Storm a lot, and I like to pair with and against. And Silencer is one of the best in the game. Like, it's just one of those heroes that instantly always lets you
Prepare.
go in,
for
do whatever you
battle.
want. Like, you're gonna get the majority of your abilities off, and it pairs so well with the Bane too. You're talking about it. It's not like the Earthshaker's gonna get a BKB at the first 2 items of the game. Like, he's not gonna get one for a while. So you pop the Silencer ulti, then you get the Fiend's Grip off on somebody like the Queen of Pain. What can you do to stop that? Actually, nothing.
Do you think that the Silencer also puts in pressure on the Queen of Pain to force her to go Yule Scepter rather than the Orchid? Or do you think he just says, screw it, it's going to suck to go against that Global Silence, but I still need the Orchid to shut down the Storm?
I actually really don't like Yules as an item on mid cores. I remember there was a time period where we saw it really often, right?
Yeah.
And then we kind of saw it fall off. Like, even, I think it was like maybe whenever he plays against 20 silences and
30
stuns,
seconds to
he still
battle.
opts to go for the Bloodstone because he knows that he has to scale, right? Like, if you go for one of those items, it's not very good. but I think Silencer is one of the few exceptions where you pretty much have to. Like, you get a BKB, he just waits for you to BKB, and then he gets his ultimate off.
Right.
I think the Yules is one of the better ways to deal with it, actually.
Okay. So, in which case, this creates more openings for Storm Spirit, right? Like, you still... If that means Fuel Scepter and Queen of Pain, that means no lockdown against the Storm Spirit except for the Earthshaker. Like, they only have him to be able to provide disables against Storm if they're forced into a use first Queen.
Oh, for sure. I guess the main thing here that I'm really curious about is this FN Ursa. Like, we're not talking about this enough. The fact that they decided to pick up the Ursa here, I guess they've got a lot of advantages for it. They're on Dire Side for one, which is going to pump it up so much. The unexpected Roche timer could just lead to them by manning non-stop,
right? Which
I think is the play here. The other thing, too, that could be pretty effective is if they decide to go for like a Basher on him at some point. It's a really decent way to deal with him as a hero. This dual lane mid, both the sentries get... That's so annoying. It's like, during the fade time, you both just eat each other's sentries. Yep. You can have both.
What's even more annoying is this Enfeeble being placed on poor Yoku. He's missing so much CS. I've already seen him miss like 2 or 3 CS, and then he even blinked in and didn't do any damage to Dichira, who already has a pretty high armor to start with, and then you decrease the Queen of Pain's damage by 30. Pseudo is going to have a rather obnoxious time because Silencer is incredibly good at harassing out offlane heroes because he doesn't draw aggro when he goes Globes of Wisdom. So as this lane pushes forward, Pseudo is going to have a harder and harder time staying in lane against all of that.
Oh, that's a really good point. I guess the Silencer, you don't have the best kill potential, but the Gyrocopter more than makes up for it, especially once he gets boots. You're probably okay yourself as a support, and J4 is actually just going to eat that Pingo in front of him and spam out a little bit harass, and Sidoi can't really continue to chase just because he's going to run into Jackal soon. This mid lane though, Deyara, I mean, he's having a pretty free time right now. Yoku, you know, he's got enough levels right now where he can almost actually kill Deyara, but I think he's afraid of the Bane being there, which is why he doesn't want to get aggressive too early right now.
Right. Rotation around the Bounty Hunter looking for that. Well, it's actually going to go for the kill on Dichira. Gets a small hit on him and is going to force some of that bottling. They could maybe still go in for the dive here. Yoku trying to corner him.
They're going to
We'll be able to find him, and Shadow Strike. This will make it easy. Dichira just hoping to get enough damage on No Fear to ensure counter kill, but that is not the case. No Fear's just going to deny himself now to the neutrals.
Yeah, for some reason Bounty Hunter has 6 armor. That's pretty ridiculous if you think about it.
Oh yeah.
Which is why that Vlad's build was so common for quite some time, right? You could just go Vlad BKB and then you'd be nearly unkillable. But, this top lane,
17%! Oh my god! 3 out of 4 hits!
Alright, that's tilting.
71%!
That's tilting. If I was a support player and that actually just happened to me,
you'd lose your mind. I mean, it was already a hard enough lane for them to be able to kick the Spirit Breaker out. But now he's just been sort of emboldened by killing a support, jumps up to level 4 nice and early. They have no way to kill him because, again, they have no hard disables. If he's ever in a bad position, he just charges away.
Condolences, Gobble. There's no real way to make that okay right now. Like, I could chat to him and be like, it happens, but... You just gotta deal with things like that and say, that's Dota 2 sometimes.
The game broke.
Yeah. My hero bugged out, guys.
Looks like there's still a bug. Dota 2 still in beta.
Still in beta. It's reborn. We'll patch it out.
Reborn. Source will fix it. Source will fix 71%.
It's... Poor Goblik.
Like, he still had a charge. That was the most disgusting part about it, right? He still had charge.
No, he just chased him down with right clicks.
He was just like, no, I'm just gonna right click him to death. I don't even need to use charge.
Yeah, that was pretty insane. If that ended up changing anything in that game, he's going to be pretty annoyed about it. But he's a professional. He's just going to say, it happens once in a while. You just got to deal. And I mean, you talked about not being able to kill, but that was 7 stacks of the Fury swipes. They got real close to being able to do it.
Yeah. So real quickly, I want to talk about, again, a potential opening here. I want to talk about the Ursa pick some more because I still don't fully understand it. because I think one of the big things about Ursa, right, is that you're able to Roshan, but you're also able to jungle very efficiently once you're able to get a decent start. And I feel like there's no way they're going to be able to utilize that. Just because they don't have a good 4 position to take over the lane. Yoku actually picked up the kill on the Storm Spirit, and oh my god, he was going to chip away!
He had blink up.
Cheshire Cat!
He had blink and
in mid-blink!
Oh, you just, alright, see, now you gotta do something about it. Like, Cheshire Cat doesn't even feel good about this play right now. He's just like, my bad, dudes. Like, don't hate me. I'm just trying to play the game.
Oh, wow. The luck on this Spirit Breaker is insane. The chat just starts filling up with 17%.
That's for the previous one. Just wait till they see this one. That's just... See, that's the thing. That you only ever all-chat when you're real salty. Because you have to realize nobody really cares on the other team, but Cheshire Cat even responds. He's like, my bad.
Wow. All right.
I've seen it all today, Cap.
Oh, can we go back to the Ursa? Because like neither Dazzle nor Bounty Hunter is gonna like sit in. I mean, so I guess Bounty Hunter can to get his level 6, but I just don't feel like this lineup really utilizes the potential of Ursa.
I mean, the main thing that Ursa does really well, especially in this meta, he is for sure.
You can keep talking about it.
I was gonna say the main thing that the Ursa utilizes here is that he can just keep going in for quite some time. There's not a whole lot of counters here for him. Especially when he's got Dazzle backing him up and the Earthshaker. Like, we were talking about being a counter to Storm, but it's more that you can just keep FN going non-stop. And I think you're going to hit a really sick timing where you can go for the Roshan and then just kind of snowball as a result of that. And you don't really, even with the lack of mobility on the hero, you can still do a lot as a result. And once they go for the Roshan, I think it's going to be actually quite hard for PR to contest, especially since Ditya Ra is doing such a good job in the mid lane.
Oh, Bane, he set a trap, and he's found his fish. Bounty Hunter gonna be slept up. J4 is gonna lead with his nuke, and hopefully they'll get the... Nope, they don't actually get the intelligence. In fact, if anything, J4 is gonna die here. Double damage on Yoku. They go for the deny, but Ditya misses it, and that means Queen of Pain now picked up the kill. 17%, that's what they need. In fact, 5 seconds left on the blink. They don't even need that. Double kill for Big Num, well worth the loss of the silencer.
Oh, definitely. Just being able to slow down the Queen of Pain. Because it helps the Storm so much. And now the Storm has 3 stacks to work with at the same time. In this bottom lane, this is a pretty big commitment, but Jackal shouldn't be able to get this. Until
the charge comes in from Cheshire Cat. Double TPs are forced. And it doesn't look like there's actually going to be any sort of counter to Cheshire Cat's aggression.
Those are really passive supports. Like, there's not a whole lot that they can do to counter that. Like, they have to wait that out for quite some time.
Yeah, the most a Dazzle can ever do is Shallow Grave save, and maybe that hero can turn around and do something, but neither Bounty Hunter nor Dazzle are good on quick response, because again, no nukes, no disables.
I think this is going to mean that FN just has to go like second item Blink Dagger and hope that his team is in position. And the reason why Roshan's so important here is that when you draft a team that's a little bit light on disables, when neither of your supports have a disable, for example, it means that you need some way to facilitate ganks. The Aegis helps out a lot.
Right.
So Cheshire Cat tries to go for the charge for a second, but just gives it up, realizing it's not really going to go anywhere.
Go Black is now going to take over this bottom lane. Actually has a decent amount of experience. Oh, Storm Spirit being lost here. Cedo actually takes a good amount of damage. They still pick up the kill on support. Cedo should be going down here to Cheshire Cat. Another right click will be able to secure it. The question is, can they continue fighting here? Cheshire Cat is going to be right clicked down by Yoku, who's having just the time of his life. Triple kill, and now looking for a quad. As the Blink Dagger, Blink ready to go, immediately finishes off the Ultra kill. Gyrocopter looking to be able to catch something here, but no fear, will just hide himself in the trees and wait out his invisibility.
And that's just so much of a swing right now. The fact that the Queen of Pain all of a sudden has 2,000 gold after that engagement, and she was already doing such a good job in this mid lane. The Storm doesn't even have his yet, and Goblack is not even going to get the Grave off. Opts to go for the heal first, which I think was a bit of a mistake.
Yeah. That heal, I mean, as a single person heal, is just not that valuable. They've created a lot of space for themselves, which means FBN is going to try and take advantage of that by doing Roshan. Now, he's got this, just because due to in range being The increased damage that he does is insane. Seedoy is going to be picked off here in the bottom lane. Fissure goes out, but asleep. And a couple of right clicks should be able to get the kill.
They need to get something out of that, and FN's rotating around. I think their time too, where they can just play around the fact that the Ursa has the Aegis right now, and he's quite strong. There's not a whole lot that they can do to burst him down. Like, the Storm doesn't have nearly enough farm, and the Gyrocopter can just kind of get chased down. Like, if he gets Earthshocked, he's just going to get chased and killed every single time.
Yoku jumping forward for J4, but he realizes he has to play a little bit passive. He's been dealing with this Spirit Breaker all game long, and knows that if he gets too aggressive in that middle lane, he will be rebuffed.
Alright, so this bottom lane is going to get gone on. They might actually just pop him twice here. Like, everybody from New Team has to start getting down right now.
Yeah, T-Raj trying to get away from No Fear. Looks like he will get out. The TPs, will they be able to save FN in time? Already, damage starts coming out. Sleep and the Fissure actually separates the two. FN in a bad bit of trouble here. So Rock's going to keep on going. Zedo's going to help soak up that damage and get FN out of this situation. The Spirit Breaker's trying to make his charge in, but it's still 2 versus 1. Meanwhile, Cheshire Cat charged right through the rest of this team. Goes for FN, will be able to glide and finishes him off. The rest of the team coming out from Power Rangers still want to be able to fight this one. Start going on Cheshire Cat. Yoki has been controlled. J4 is actually going to throw down the silence. It's a beautiful combination. As he blinks away, he can't do anything else to be able to help out his team. Cheshire Cat charges forward, goes on to Yoku, just trying to stall up as much as possible. Big ultimate out from Yoku. Tries to finish off, doesn't get the scream on Jackal. Doesn't get enough. And now Yoku, global silence up. Jackal runs him down. Double kill for him and Power Rangers. They win from losing a real bad fight in the middle lane. And even Roshan directly after that, but still managed to make an amazing team fight at the bottom lane.
I think if Yoku was just an inch closer, he could have killed the Gyrocopter and probably gotten the other two as a result. Like, the Bane didn't have enough mana to work with. He's just getting his arcane boots to refresh up. They wouldn't have enough damage to deal with them. He had a decent charge wand too. 3 charges is enough to get a double kill there at least. And he threw down the ultimate. He was just outside of range though for the Gyrocopter on that scream. And I think if he just steps forward an inch, that fight has a completely different look. But as it stands, I mean, they decided to go for the Storm Sphere, which I think was a mistake. Like, you had to help out your Ursa there. You knew he was going to get kited down.
Ditchira actually doing an invasion into the jungle. FN still claims his creeps though. Net worth wise, the Queen of Pain is actually quite far ahead, 5,700 compared to the 5,400 on the Gyrocopter, who's been the one picking up all of the kills in this game. 4, 0, and 2 on him. Looks like a similar build to last game. Helmet Dominator once again going for the Sage to beef up a bit more. Ancient stats, well, they actually haven't stacked it just yet. Gyrocopter will start working on that soon. Smoke up. Smoke actually pops on Jackal immediately, and Seedoy. Did he actually see what happened there?
I think he might have. He probably has an idea what's going on right now.
So now that 2-man Smoke is going to have to rotate somewhere else, but New Team are playing defensively on all accounts.
And Yoku really wants to get that his Yule Scepter and that level 11 as soon as he can. And that's what we anticipated, right? It's just a silencer. You can't build anything else. You have to go for the Yule Scepter first. And it's pretty effective against the Spirit Breaker at the same time, too. It allows you to play Channel the Refresher.
Shuriken? Oh, they got him. Ditchira not only gives up a kill, but a track kill to both FN, Yoku, as well as No Fear. And Yoku does get a very early Yule Scepter in order to deal with that global silence. At this rate, he can actually start. Do you think he's far enough ahead he can still go for the Orchid second item?
I don't think you do at this point.
Global silence, Yoku. Yule Scepter, but the Fiend's Grip is actually holding him in. The Shalgrave will be able to buy him some time. Yoku still
getting bashed so much.
Yule Scepter, but there's the Nightmare now. Gonna try and go over the blink away, and does actually get it. Yoku, insane, manages to get away from that one from a clutch Shallow Grave, thanks to our Dazzle. They probably dished down about a 2,000 damage, that Queen of Pain, who only had 900.
I know where he is.
They actually managed to see him, Brain Stab, and managed to finish him off behind that tier 1 tower. Not sure why Yoku was still trying to be so aggressive, but
I think they thought they could just re-engage there, but once they saw him,
they were probably waiting on the Blink Dagger of FN.
Yep. But I mean that fight is just so unideal to take anyways. But F1, he has to start being the frontliner. It can't be Yoku anymore. Now that he's got this Blink Dagger, I think they know that the global silence is down too. I think now is the time to start taking fights and taking down towers. Like, the Storm Spirit is so underfarmed right now. You have to take advantage of that. They're actually just going to jump on this Bane right now as Bignum is 100% going to go down.
Yeah. Nothing they can really do. There is going to be some sort of response. Cheshire Cat.
Oh, they know
maybe
he doesn't have the charge.
Yeah, charges down for another 7 seconds with a haste on FN. He will make very short work of Cheshire Cat.
The silencer's there too.
J4 actually barely managed to stay away from their vision, so they think he's still behind this tier 1 tower.
They're checking around, but that was just a good move by J4. He had 2 options there, run to the left or run down to the tower, but there's no way that anybody from his team could have even helped.
Yeah.
Radiant's bottom
Like,
tower
Storm just has to catch up at this phase.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Cito is trying to pick up some CS. Will not be able to stop this tier 1 power from going down. Maybe they can get the deny though. Jackal's actually is going to be gone on here by FN, but they're controlling him pretty well. Still with the enrage, will be able to deal with a lot of these disables, and it looks like still a deny for them. J4 is actually going to be popped as Yoku comes from the side, charged in Cheshire Cat, bumps back too, but Citoy now going to immediately stop him with the Echo Slam in his place. And charges forward, going for Big Num, but immediately rolled off there by Cheshire Cat. Jump forward, no fear, looks for more, but he's out of mana and he's out of movement speed as well. Won't be able to finish off any of those heroes. Ditch your Raw, low on mana. Yoku jumps forward, trying to claim anything here. A track kill would be just the ticket. Turns around, goes for the charge, but Yoku gets him with the scream anyway.
Look at how low Jackal and Bignum are walking back to base. Combined between them, they've got 300 HP. One Scream could have been able to completely turn that fight around as the Ursa jumps in on the gyrocopter, but the rest of his team just wasn't ready for it. And they're not really able to take full advantage. They do manage to take down the tower, and they get some track money as a result too, but probably not the fight that they were looking for.
Absolutely not. They're not careful. They continue to lose these fights. This will be a second Roshan for new team. Like, I think you can afford to like just give up the first Roshan. It's just so hard to continuously check that pit, but I don't think they can give a second Roshan to the Ursa. They're just going to use that advantage to start taking down towers.
Yeah, I agree. I think I was watching some video of IG talking about their strategies and how smokes are supposed to work and how you're supposed to go for unexpected things during the static laning phase because people won't really move around so much.
Sure.
But once things kind of slow down and you start to realize heroes going missing off the map completely, then you start to realize that smokes are really quite apparent. And FN, he's going to spot and immediately blinks out.
Blink just ahead of either Bignum or Ditchira getting out that damage. They're going to try and go on middle, but that's actually an invisible No Fear who just gets out some track in preemptive action, waiting for that team fight.
Oh, and J4 is actually... he's getting really low. I think he actually just has to run away.
Under attack.
Yeah, the rest of Power Rangers start backing up, continue farming. Cheshire Cat looks like he's going to go for this route. What other items do we have? Jackal's going to finish up his S and Y here pretty quickly as he's clearing through the Ancient stack. Storm Spirit trying to go for Orchid still, but Yoku... is this another Scythe of Ice? Like a really early Scythe, or is this Lincoln's?
I think the Lincoln's is a better option here.
Okay.
Like, it helps you deal with the charge plus global sounds combination quite well. Because there's some times where if you come in from the fog, even getting the Yule Scepter off is too slow. Because the Spirit Breaker comes at you so quickly. And we saw that in the mid engagement, right? Yeah. Where they were just able to drop spell after spell, and he wasn't able to get the Yules off. And so I think he just wants to secure his ability to survive. Getting the Hex, though, would be massive, too. Like, either one of the options are probably really good. It just depends on if he thinks that FN can dish out enough damage.
A 5-man smoke. New team. Looking for their opening here, see if they can get a pick off and immediately turn it into a tier 1 tower. In fact, with the pushing power of the Ursa, they may even be able to get a tier 2 as well. If it's good enough pick off, they're going to jump for Cheshire Cat immediately. He still has a charge. Sleep will actually buy him a little bit of time and charges away. Fiend Script immediately put on FN. Cdoy with Global Silence can't actually stop this one, and FN just gets bursted down immediately. Cheshire Cat will great ultimate out from Yoku. Does good amount of damage, but only finishes off the Spirit. Cdoy will fall as well. 1 for 2 so far, but Yoku actually jumps in, finishes off the Bane. Ditchira with that extra movement speed from the haste. You run down some of these heroes. No Fear actually hit by the missile. Perhaps Ditchira can go for him. Silence immediately onto No Fear. Shalgrave will actually save him as he TP's out. Never mind, disable. Ditchira still had that one and a triple kill for Jackal as he is constantly cleaning up all the kills in these team fights. I'm not sure how, but he's now 8-0-3.
Was it the flat cannon that canceled the Echo Slam from the Earthshaker? Did you see? Because something canceled the Earthshaker's Echo Slam. He might have just messed it up, but he had the Blink Echo available, and he was going to get it on 2. Instead, he Blink Echoes nothing, and then the fight just turns disastrous from there on out. Like, they need that Echo Slam to be able to work with. And him just using it in the jungle, I had to imagine it was either just a mischief cue or Jackal got the flat cannon off on him.
Yeah, I didn't actually see it, but I would imagine that. We'll just say, for the sake of promoting good play, that it was a flat cannon.
Yeah,
it's so annoying as an Earthshaker.
It would have made such a big difference in that fight too.
Yeah, you can afford to a lot of times keep an eye on where your hero is exactly when you're following some of these fights and waiting for the opportune time to blink in. You just sometimes lose track of time. This promotion is going to be taken by a new team here. Power Rangers are not in a position to defend.
Yeah, they do this way too quickly, and this is actually going to mean the hit sphere completed from Yoku at the same time. This is such a fast timing for him. Like, he's going to have a 20-minute blink plus, or a linking sphere plus the Yule Scepter. It's going to be nigh impossible to kill in these engagements now. It was really difficult before, because he almost always has the blink cooldown refreshed with the Yule Scepter. But now it's just going to get 2 times harder. Because he's probably going to isolate one of the supports out, and that's just one of the major disables that he has to worry about.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Tier 1 tower goes down in the top lane. New team. Not able to rotate in time in order to defend that one, but maybe they could still get a fight. No Fear spots out some of these heroes. Immediate track. 2-man Fisher will be able to get
the global too.
Global Silence is popped. Itchy Ross not going to be in a good position. He immediately gets Yule Scepter.
He's out of mana.
But he's out of mana. Echo Slam holds him in. Immediately gets the kill. FN chased away the rest of the team. So that was a lot blown for Power Rangers, and they gave up Storm Spirit and a track kill.
And the Storm just can't afford these kinds of engagements. He's 0, 6, and 7. It's kind of insane that he's still not that far behind when it comes to net worth to, for example, the Ursa, who has a much better score at 1, 3, and 3. But the Stormster, he can't afford 0, 6, and 7 at the today's game. Like, he can't be the first one jumping in anymore. I think he actually has to be the counter initiator, and just hopefully let the Spirit Breaker be the first one in.
Tier 1 tower going to be given up. You could see the rest of Power Rangers with their Storm Spirit down is focusing more on split pushing at this point.
They're so tentative to fight because they know that they can't kill Yoku.
Radiant's top tower is
and 22-minute Midas picked up by our offlane Spirit Breaker now. A bit surprising given how well he started off. Being able to get that kill on Go Black and then the follow-up mid Queen of Pain kill as well.
Something I want to point out too is that Goblak actually has the Solar Crest completed, and they've got the Guardian Greaves now too. So you've just got a lot of utility on both their supports now, which is going to help out so much in these fights. Yeah. The fact that your supports have this much farm, it doesn't seem like a lot considering the Bane almost has a 4-stat, but at this phase of the game you'd rather have the Solar Crest, right?
Sure.
And on top of that, you'd probably rather have the Guardian Greaves than anything at this phase.
Yeah, this Ursa is just going to become unstoppable between the Dazzle and the Bounty Hunter's support. And that's exactly why Bounty Hunter is still so heavily valued in the current meta, is that excess of Gold that has allowed the supports to be a much larger factor in this game than they normally would be.
Yeah, the Guardian Greaves, that passive aura, if they drop below 20%, they receive 15 HP regen and 15 armor. Like, the physical damage is what they have right now in spades. Between the Gyrocopter, the Spirit Breaker, and the Storm Spirit, there's not a whole lot of magic damage.
Gyrocopter, they still cannot break this tier 1 tower in the bottom lane. He's going to back up and just try and split push, finish up that BKB. They don't want to be fighting into an Aegis right now. It's 18-18. Taking a look at the charts right now, new team are up almost by 7,500 net worth and 2,000 experience.
I don't even know how much the BKB is going to change in these fights. There's so much physical damage from the side of the new team.
Yeah.
And the Earthshaker is one of the better ways to deal with BKB carriers.
Oh yeah, always able to do that blink and can disable. I mean, the Ursa, like, target prioritization. Ursa goes for the Gyrocopter first, most likely, unless the Storm Sphere, they've managed to disable him.
I think you just try to pick off whatever supports you can, or the Gyrocopter.
Okay.
I think Dota, especially nowadays, is just a numbers game. If you're able to take a 4v5 fight, regardless of what the net worth difference is, like we saw it in the last game, right? as soon as new team had a 4v5 advantage, even if they were down 18k, they were willing to take the fight because they know they can probably just outmaneuver them in these engagements, and so you just have to try to thin out the numbers as fast as you can using FN. We've actually got a BKB coming in. This is going to be a really sick timing where they've got the Guardian Greaves up, they've got most of the core items up on most of their heroes. Goku actually has an order now too, and that has to mean a Hex, and things just become so dangerous right now for Power Rangers.
They're going to keep on going. They know that Power Rangers are trying to make it a simple Tier 2 for Tier 2 trade-off, and that's why new team are going to push uphill, force Power Rangers to TP back, and then they can decide if they still want to take the fight. Of course, with the Aegis and the fresh BKB, they very much can if they want to. Tier 3 tower is going to fall. They've taken down the Tier 2. Power Rangers TPing back in spades, but it's too late. Tier 3 is already down and out. And new team, they're not actually going to continue to take this fight.
I think they're just going to back up.
I think the Aegis expires. Yeah, the Aegis expires now.
There's no reason. Getting that Tier 3 is pretty huge, though, because it means the next Aegis is probably going to mean high ground for Rex.
Right. Knowing that you are on that kind of deadline, Power Rangers essentially, the next Roshan's going to be Cheese, Aegis, and then new team will very likely have the power to take your bottom lane entirely. What do you do in this position? Do you sit back and farm it up? Or do you try and play really aggressive and go for pickoffs?
I think you smoke around the next Roshan timing. I think you have to at that phase of the game.
So just play passively until the potential spawn time of Roshan,
yeah,
and then get aggressive?
There was no point in fighting before the Gyrocopter had the BKB. If he's going to go for a major item. Like, usually when you're going for one major item, you always wait that out, even if it costs you a tower in that regard. And the other thing, too, in fights like that is you just have to kind of wait it out, and you want the best possible one-off fight that you can get, right? Sure. If you're 500 gold away from a BKB and you're already losing, you might as well wait it out just to see how the fight would go in an ideal circumstance for you. And you're going to play around that fact, and so you're going to wait out one more whatever item that you can get on any of your core heroes and then take fights.
Gyrocopter's actually going for this Tier 1 in the bottom lane. New team, a bit slow to react. Cedo's going to be there, perhaps? No.
Bottom tower has fallen.
Gyrocopter just does a bit too much damage, so free tower for him.
How many scenarios do you see the safe lane carry go 8-0 and they're losing like this?
Oh, yeah. He's got 200 CS as well. He's still top of the CS board, but is still behind 1500. Ooh, Bane couldn't TP away in time. Damage. Yoku overwhelms him, and now this is going to be a side device.
Yeah, he's really close to it.
Yeah.
He's only 500 away. This is going to make such a big difference in these fights. Because before, there were still ways that they could deal with the Storm, or the Storm could still make an impact in these fights, where he just zips in with the silence timing.
Right.
But now it's just impossible. He's just going to immediately burst down and...
Oh, jump in already. Jackal locked down by the Echo Slam and FN. The damage overwhelms Gyrocopter, and that's a monster kill streak that was given up. As you just said, he was 8-3. A lot of kill streak gold on the way of the Earthshaker.
And that's huge right now. He can't afford to play that aggressively, because, again, yes, you've got the BKB, but it doesn't mean anything against a hero like Earthshaker, who will expend the Echo Slam just for the immediate lockdown potential. He has to anticipate that every single time. Now FN, he's got a BKB. Stoy's got a BKB too. You've got the Roshan going to come up. Actually,
middle tower is under attack.
There's time. They've got 30 seconds. For some reason, I disconnected, and now the Roshan kit doesn't show. Oh, so I was really confused. I was like, did they take it in the time I was gone? But they've got the Hex now, and this is what I'm talking about, is if you're waiting for key items, you don't have to really force anything too hard. Like, they're going to take that fight just because they killed Jackal, but if they hadn't, you can just wait out the 3 BKBs that you just got, plus the Hex. Now the next Roshan, then there's nothing else that new team are waiting for at that phase.
Yeah, you've hit a kind of certain peak of power.
Exactly.
For the side of new team, and they will feel very comfortable taking any fights they can. They can secure it a little bit more by getting, of course, the Aegis and Cheese, and that should be guaranteed going to new team, unless Power Rangers pulled some serious cojones and try and actually battle it out with them. J4 is going to be blocked out. Great Fisher block and a free kill for the Ursa.
Oh my, he dies so fast when he gets solar crested.
Yeah. Two-shot.
You've got
he actually goes into negative armor. That Solar Crest.
Oh, you're right, he does.
Yep.
By 1?
Yep, -1.
It's rough. Oh, they're actually going to find Bignum too.
With that sight, he's got this kill. He can Sonic Wave if he needs to, but FN will make sure it's not needed. Especially without the Agadins. You don't blow it early.
Yoku's just done so much work this game. The amount of solo kills as he's been able to get off the map, the fact that he's been able to keep up with Farm at the same time, this opened up the map so much for them. Especially when he got the solo kill on that mid lane at the 4-minute mark. This is just opening up the maps so much for them. And Ditya just had such a rough game, and there's not a whole lot you can do as a Stormsteward in a situation like this either.
The bait down, they actually start poking at that tier 3 tower. Looks like Shish Your Cat has been caught. Not sure what he was thinking about being outside of his base, but new team, what was once sort of a guaranteed Roshan, they're not even going for it. They just keep on going uphill because they've got this numbers advantage. Shade 4 is going to be the target. Nice Echo Slam from Cedo. Locks down Jackal with no BKB. Ichiro now to sight the Vice, and that's going to be all 5 down. The Bane only just now coming back up. But what can he do without support? New team should be able to claim. This is looking like potentially 2 sets of racks here. As Bignum may be caught out here, Yoku with that Lincolns actually will be able to dodge the sleep. They've taken out the tier 3 tower FN, just focusing on getting these buildings. They will not have the Storm Spirit for another 40 seconds.
Jackal hasn't been able to get his BKB off since he's on it. Nearly 6 minutes ago he's had it. There's been 3 engagements. They just immediately burst him down.
They need a strong initiation here. The global silence is up, so the silencer is ready to pop it too, but Shish Your Cat's already gone. So too does Bignum fall. Once again, we're left with another 2 versus 5 scenario. GG, well played. Power Rangers just run out of steam as we start closing her in that 30-minute marker. And it all just falls apart, so new team, it was a very tough game number 1, which they just barely managed to win, but game 2 they take very convincingly and will walk away with a 2-0 series.
That second game, I really like that strategy. Like, the Ursa just made sense. They were on Dire side. Going for the sneak Roshans were so easy for them. They had Dazzle, the Earthshaker to always back up whenever FN decided to go in. And Yoku, I'm in love